Hi everybody, Tashi here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back. Yes, so soon. I have Oscar here with me today. To those of you new, Oscar is the Dwayne Awake by Claire Taylor. He's looking so stinking adorable. I changed him for some photos and he just feels so cuddly in this and looks so cute. I figured, let me sit down and make a video. It kind of relaxes me and slows me down for a moment. So I have a bottle here to give him. It's kind of one of my faves. You all have seen this bottle that I got recently. I actually have another bottle that I have the nipple curing, like the silicone in it. So you'll see that in a few days. That's not really like anything unique or anything, but just new to my nursery and like puddle collection. But anywho, yeah, I have Oscar and he is wearing his new Zara. I had the onesie on him, or long sleeve vest in a previous video, and I was deciding booties, and now I have added this piece, the overalls, and put the booties with it. It makes a gorgeous outfit together. These two pieces paired together. I love, love, love it. And when I can, I will be ordering from Zara. Again, I really loved their clothing. So we're going to give Oscar his bottle here. Right, buddy? We don't want to leave you hungry. And for some reason, like, it's not, I mean, it's nice just to hold him in my arms too and chat, but doing the feeding is just, it's so relaxing to me. So I have the camera zoomed in on just Oscar this evening. I haven't even hopped in the shower yet, so I'm all a hot mess. So I figured, ugh, y'all don't want to see me. You want to see the baby. We come here to see the babies, right? So anyway, and I'm sure this will go up tomorrow morning. I've been enjoying getting videos like pre-recorded as well, because then I just know I have like videos for during the week, and then I can focus on, reading the comments when I've posted the videos, and that seems to be working out well. So kind of doing it that way these days, and yeah, just enjoying my babies. And life is hectic. Life is hectic, hectic, as I kind of been saying. And I guess I get a bit overwhelmed sometimes, but don't we all? Don't we all? We never know what's kind of going on in people's lives behind the scenes, like off camera and stuff like that. On any given day, I suppose, no matter whose life it is. So, but it's still a place for me. I know I spoke in a recent video, not the last one, I think it was the one before, just about like me being MIA as far as like socializing and stuff like that. It was just a video about me, about my experience on a whole through the few years that I've been here in the community, and where I'm at now, with, what I'm doing here. Yeah. So even though, it's not kind of the same as far as like, where I'm, I guess, hanging around and, you know, um, yeah, my social circles and stuff like that. I've brought that into my my physical world. The dolls is something that, I mean, I've always loved dolls. I've always collected dolls since I was a little girl. And when I tell you I loved dolls, I mean, dolls were just like it. Like, baby dolls. I love dolls. I loved babies when I was a little girl. I always, any relative or friend or any person that had a baby around, I wanted to hold the baby. I wanted to feed the baby. I wanted to change the baby. I was very good with babies. But I loved anything to do with babies. And I just always played with dolls, had dolls, collected dolls, like my big thing, like waiting for Christmas until Christmas morning was what dolls I had asked for that year, or what I thought I might, get surprised with. Like, the Cabbage Patches were big then, and, all the rage. And that was, for years of Christmases waiting to get Cabbage Patch dolls and accessories, the stroller and the swing and the playpen and the clothes and like all the stuff we have now, This is, folks, the adult version of doll collecting. So you see, like, for, I guess, I don't want to say for boys, because that would be kind of gender, you know what I mean? Like, girls can enjoy cars and trains and things like that just the same, but it's the equivalent. It's just the adult version of a hobby, of what was once a toy as you were a child. And then as you get older, like, say you collected dolls and you had dolls like I did, when you're young, you're, mostly using them for play. The older you get, the more expensive your stuff gets, is what I'm trying to say. So you may, get into like porcelain dolls, or just, again, just be, wanting and looking at more expensive things. So it's kind of like the ultimate, adult version, I think, anyway, is how I look at it. If it was trains or cars or model airplanes, someone that really, really loves cars and maybe collects and puts together model cars and things like that when they're young, maybe grows up to, rebuild classics and take your cars to car shows and, buy all of those add-on accessories that make your car, unique and special to you, and more expensive and upgraded and like all that stuff. It's kind of the same thing. I know some people will look in and say, like, oh my gosh, like, such an expensive hobby. Or even people like that know what reborns and silicones are, and that are new to the hobby and want one, or want a more realistic one, or they have a reborn, they want a silicone, something like that, may look and say, but oh my gosh, they're so expensive. But that's the building up to, upgrading and building up to, where you want. I never, like, when I first found reborn dolls, I was sticker shocked at, like, secondhand. I believe it was $350, my first doll. I've told the story a million times. And that was on the secondhand market. And to me, that was a ton. It was a huge amount of money to spend on a doll. Of course, now it's much different, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and a starting place now years later, you know, the cost has gone up. It may be a little different. I don't know. I'm not even at the starting place anymore to even know. And I haven't been buying and selling in a long time and stuff like that to be kind of like looking at the market in that way. But what I'm saying is, like I saw silicone dolls, and it wasn't even like, oh, I'm dreaming I could have one, because like I just was like, I knew I couldn't. I knew I would never be able to. In my mind, that's, you know, how I looked at it. But I still loved seeing them. I still loved seeing the YouTubers, the YouTube channels that had them, like just looking at them in the collector's arms, seeing their movements. Feeding videos was, you know, something I really enjoyed watching. You know, anything where the baby was like realistic in the collector's arms, being moved around and stuff like that. I loved seeing them in that way. I love hearing other collectors, like, you know, talking about them and their features and what they loved about them, and you know, the different silicones, the different artists, like all that stuff. I really just loved watching, because I loved the dolls. I loved looking at the dolls. And yeah, of course, I thought to myself, oh, if I could have one, I'd want one like this or that or the other. I'd want one from this artist. And of course, my thing was, and I've said this before, but my thing was, I the to what my taste would be, and I've always had expensive taste in kind of everything in life. I always kind of just, you know, yeah, I do. So my thing is I didn't, like, I knew I wouldn't be satisfied. I did have like um a preemie silicone, but it was just like an EcoFlex 20. He was beautifully painted and stuff, but definitely didn't have like the movement and the features and the things that I would want. Um and I, you know, I sold him on very quickly. That was right in the very beginning. And I kind of knew and realized at that time, and realized in looking at other collectors and, you know, the dolls that were out there, that looking at the price range of what I would want and the features that I would want in a silicone doll was just so out of my range. So I didn't see a point in trying to get it together just to get a silicone. You know what I mean? Because like, to me, it was still a lot of money. You know, silicone is still usually expensive. So it's still, you know, it's still money. You know what I mean? So to have that and then not really have like what you want or close to it, or something that you at least feel you could enjoy. Um you know, and it wasn't until just, you know, watching videos and networking and, you know, buying in the Reborns and all that, that the opportunity came up. And it wasn't the first silicone, because like I said, the first silicone I had very early on, but the first silicone that I got that really kicked off like my journey to Oscar, let's say, was not a perfect silicone. She was actually a boo-boo baby. She was a beautiful sculpt, beautiful Mishka by Elena Westbrook. But it was the artist's first attempt at an AA painting, so she had, you know, boo-boos and stuff. She rooted her real quick, I think, because of that. So the rooting wasn't that great. But I loved the AA painting, so it was at least like the style painting that I really loved, and the sculpt had like the flexibility and the movement that I wanted. She had a mouth that could take a passy in a bottle, which was something that was important to me. So she had enough of the features and an adorable face, a really adorable sculpt. When I got her, I was like, really like, what a nice sculpt. She was a ball jointed neck, so it wasn't a one piece pour. It wasn't the ultimate in what I wanted with a drinking wet and a one piece pour and all that, but it was a doll that I knew that I could love and enjoy, and that I could do things with that I wanted to do on my channel. I could do the role play and I could do the things, and I just made her mine for the time. And then it then a Claire Taylor doll came up that was in older, not a brand new, but still like an oh my gosh doll that I wanted. So I was able to sell that doll, add some more, and go and went that way. So but it took a few years. It took at least a couple of years to get into that place where I could buy a fairly inexpensive, or certainly inexpensive for a silicone doll, Boo Boo, baby, that was acceptable to me, that was realistic looking enough, that was certainly an amazing sculpt, that had the features that I wanted. So that's how a hobby goes. You grow in it, and not only do you develop your taste way along, you learn where to go to buy things, as far as like networking in, and you learn along the way of what features you want in a baby and what's acceptable to you. And another thing was that she was open eyes, and I really, oh no, she wasn't open eyes. I'm sorry. She was closed eyes. It wasn't till another like 3 more babies down that I got finally an open eye. But anyway, so yeah, okay. So she didn't have, she didn't have all the features I wanted, but she had enough of the features that I wanted. It wasn't, perfect and exactly what I wanted. She wasn't my dream baby, but it was a good starting place for me into silicones. And then, as far as the reborns, a good starting place for me was on the second market. And then the time when I came in the second market, getting a sculpt and a doll that was a little bit older, like probably like 6 years old or something at that point, made the price quite reasonable, and I still got a very nice realistic doll. And even back then, it was, like I said, that was like a ton of money to me. But you will find your starting place if you're new and you're looking to start, or if you're here and you've started but you're looking to go from vinyl reborns to silicone. Be patient. My best advice is to be patient and save as much as you can, so that as you're looking, when something comes up, you at least have a deposit to put down and work with, and hope that many artists do payment plans. There's collectors that do payment plans, and if you may miss 10 times that a doll that you really wanted, that unfortunately you only had enough for a deposit and the seller was not willing to take a payment plan, before you find one that will. But eventually you'll find that and you'll find that way, so that if you have a chunk to put down, and then you can pay off every month. I mean, I know collectors that have been on close to a year payment plan. I mean, And it's not even a matter of the weight because of money. Like, collectors on a very regular basis do custom orders that it takes, 12 or more months for the doll to get started and completed because the artist has such a long waiting list. So you could pay it off during the time, you could do whatever, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to get that doll any sooner anyway. So this is a hobby where people do wait, and it pays off in getting what you want. Some of us aren't those type of people. We're more instant gratification. It just all depends on you as a person, as a collector, and as well as, what's gonna work in your budget and what you need to do. But where there's a will, there's a way. So just to all of you out there, don't ever give up hope that you will get to your dream baby. And it may be a baby that you didn't even know existed. You may be, say, looking at Oscar right now and saying, well, he's my dream baby, but his sculpt is sold out, and he's probably, this baby here is I don't ever want to say never, but I have no intentions of selling him. I'm very attached to him. He's my dream baby. He's my dream baby. But what I'm saying is, so you may look and, love Oscar, but you may, find another doll, another baby that comes up that you didn't even know existed, that's, similar to him or has the same features or just strikes you in that same way, that you fall in love with in the same way. I didn't even know Oscar existed, because I wasn't following Claire Taylor that closely when she did the Dwayne edition. So I didn't even know there was an Oscar until close to right before I got him on the second market. I had my Caden, and it was after I had my Caden that I found out Oscar existed. And a lot of you all know the story that have been here, but as soon as I seen a picture of Oscar, I was like, oh my God, that's my son. That is my silicone son. That's my silicone son. And he belonged to somebody else that seemed to be very, very happy with him. Like it wasn't like seemed to be any possibility of me getting him, but yet I was like, oh my gosh, that's my baby. If you want to hear the story of Oscar and how I actually got him, how he came to be from that point where I seen him and I was like, oh my gosh, that's my son, but yet he belonged to somebody else. There is a video up. I think it's from about a year ago. Hopefully I'll remember to stick the link up to that video in the description of this one. So those of you that haven't heard Oscar's story and how I got my dream baby silicone, you could watch it. But yeah, so it was like there was almost like no hope, but yet somehow I knew. So but I didn't even know he existed when, he was first made. When Claire Taylor first made him, he went to a first mommy and another mommy, and he was out and around, and I had no idea this doll, that he even was there or existed. So that's what I'm saying. You just never know. That's why, stick around, and certainly, like, if you're on the market, you're new, you're looking, you definitely want to network. You definitely want to watch videos. You definitely want to follow the sculptors and the artists so you see what they're making and you see what's out there. Because you can follow a baby that goes straight home from the artist to a mommy, But then, you know, you can contact that mommy. A good amount of silicone doll collectors will keep a list of potential mommies, so they know if they ever choose to put that doll up on the secondhand market, they don't have to first start advertising. Like, they have a list to go off of, so, you know, they go down the list. So you know, if you really fall in love with the doll that you see that's brand new from an artist, and you kind of follow that baby home, get on the baby's list. A lot of collectors buy and sell. You know, so there's lots of ways. You gotta be in it to win it, so to speak. So you definitely kind of want to be following and as much as you can. So that's it. My silicone son here, my baby boy, and he is, I mean, this baby is truly, you know, like, if there was ever a doll for me, it is Oscar. Maybe the next video I'll talk even more about, like, how he is, like, so mine, and how I have had him, what, gosh, 3 years now. This is my 3rd year. I have to look. I think it's 3 years. I am not only still completely and totally satisfied, you know, like, with him, and like happy, and don't want to replace him and get a different doll. I adore him more and more, even still to this day, every day. Like, I get so much joy out of this baby. He still brings me that magic. He still feels like there's a real baby in the house. He's still all of the features and everything that check off all of my boxes as a collector and as a mommy, because, you know, I mean, we're collectors, but we're also, you know, doll mommies, because that's how it goes. That's that's the hobby. That's, you know, the whole shebang, you know, adult play, you know, that's what we do. So anyway, Oscar and I send our love. I've, of course, yammered on and on and on as usual. But I'm just like, I'm looking because the camera's flipped, and I'm loving just seeing Oscar in this, and just the way he looks so adorable right now. I'm just loving it. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, run and smash that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell till all. And we will see you all in the next video. God bless.